Bonjour, I'm gonorrhea. Let's pronounce exploring the French influence in British or UK English. Americans, as we all know, are stupid. And one of the many examples of stupidity in American culture is their attitude surrounding the French. A prime target for derision from Americans whose IQ level seems to be inversely proportional to their obesity level. What Americans don't get, however, is that American culture in general, and especially the English language, is just not possible without the French. All that said, this French influence is not equal across the pond. As much French as there is in US English, it is far more prevalent in UK English. This is a video about just that. The areas where the Frenchies have influenced UK English, making it quite different from US English in spelling, in pronunciation, and vocabulary. Spelling. The difference is mostly obvious at the end of the words. M versus MME endings, kilogram versus le kilogramme, ton versus la tonne, ER versus RE endings, such as center versus centre, grinder versus grandeur, OR versus OUR endings, honor, honneur, favor, faveur, color, couleur. Pronunciation. Rhotic versus non-rhotic endings, i.e. we're talking about the omission of the R sound. The French always omit the R if it's the last letter in a word and preceded by a vowel that is not the I. Example. Every ER verb, such as in the sentence Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? The omission of the T sound. In US English, this happens when the T is after the N and before a vowel, such as the T in winner or winter, plenty or plenty, Santa versus Santa, wanna versus want to, open versus closed sound. Americans tend towards more open sounds compared to UK English, who follow the French. For example, with the English infant and the French enfant. See how closed the French pronunciation sounded? Observe these US versus UK differences. Bought versus bought. Grand versus grand. Autumn versus autumn. Can't versus can't. Man versus mon. These UK pronunciations obviously follow the French examples of commonly closed words such as bilan, grand, comment, argentin, silent H versus aspirated H, hotel versus hôtel, whore versus heure, herb versus herbe, because they have a fucking H in it. And lastly, vocabulary, such as the hood of a car, which in both UK and French, it's called le bonnet. Also, transportation versus transport. You see this in other Romance languages. Everyone but the American and Canadian English say transport. In the US and Canada, people say transportation. And that's the only examples I could come up with. I'm sure you can find more, Google it. Alright, before I end the video, I shall leave you with some examples of words that exist in both US and UK English that were directly ripped off from the French. I have not included any French words that were introduced into English back in the Middle Ages, which by now have become deeply anglicized. These are just the obvious examples, all from the modern era. In politics, we have coup, régime, souverain. Diplomacy, we have détente, entente, communique, passeport. In societal roles, we have vilain, vassal, prince, entrepreneur. In military, marine, garde, grenadier, reconnaissance, surveillance, espionnage, camouflage, corps. Organization, we have bureau. In art, beige, turquoise, silhouette, collage, montage, plaque, souvenir. Architecture, we have façade, arcade, pavillon, levet. Animals, gazelle, chantelle. Feelings, morale, aventure, normal, ambiance, humeur. Food, cuisine, marmalade, mayonnaise, casserole, soufflé, fondue, café, restaurant. And cars, we have monocoque, coupé, cabriolet, limousine, châssis, Cadillac, Chevrolet. In career, we have employé, which by the way means female employee, as in she has a pussy. Résumé, interview or entrevue. Entertainment, we have cinéma, genre, niche, gauche. And finally, in places, we have Michigan, Détroit, Des Moines, Baton Rouge, and of course, the countless Lafayette in the US. In summary, British English is simply not possible without French. Ensemble, les deux sont les frères inséparables. Now, if only the ever insecure l'Académie Française understood this as well.